What's up, Tim Sykes here. Lots to talk about today. Some big spikers, some big panics, lots of money to be made both ways, long and short, if you're prepared. Most people, again, are not prepared. I made a lot of mistakes today, but I still made 5,900 now in 2 days, nearly 20 grand. I'm donating all of my profits this week and probably next week too to something that I feel very passionate about, and that is this the California fires. It's affecting so many people, so many animals. So we started a fundraiser. I'll post the link to this fundraiser just below. 15,000 raised already in 2 or 3 days. And then I'm also donating all of my trading profits. So that's add up another 19,000. So, we're at like 34,000 so far. But, these firefighters and these people and these animals need all the support they can get. We're at just the beginning of the fire season. So it's not like this is over. They're literally so brave. I have a lot of students who are firefighters, first responders, and I just respect them so much. And now families have like lost everything. I think 150,000 people have been evacuated now. So we're praying for them, and it's my honor to donate 100% of my profits to charity because I want to show you that A, it's good to give back, and B, I also prioritize my students. So when you look at my trades and you say, oh, this is cool, making 18,000, I want to do that too. Guess what? I'm winning, I'm losing, I'm trading, and it all goes to charity. And yes, I show my losses too. This always surprises people. People are like, what's wrong with you? Do you have a fever? Are you okay? You have some losses? Look at my losses: 250, 360, 195. I had a loss right here, 255. Very well contained. I make mistakes, and I'll tell you specifically about the mistakes I made today, but I control my losses. And that's how, I can still make nearly 20 grand in 2 days, despite missing out on so many good plays. A lot of people are asking, like, how do you see me live? September 4th, okay? We're doing another one of these market masteries roughly 9 days from now. I'll include the link to this below. You join my market mastery, you get access to an all-day live trading on September 4th, which is the next one, so mark your calendars. But then also you get 11 others. It's a one-time payment, and you get to watch me 12 full days over the course of the year. You learn so much, and then we also have a whole bunch of other goodies and bonuses and stuff like that. I'll include the link. Please tune in. Please watch it. The last mastery I did, kind of slow morning, no plays in the middle of the day. In the afternoon, I wasn't looking to trade, but a solid setup appeared. OTC, first green day play on RVVTF. Locked it in, took it over the weekend. And the next day it was roughly a 20% winner, and it could have been like 25, 30% if I had held a little longer, but I don't trust OTC stocks, and neither should you. Especially after what I'm going to talk about in this video. Hopefully you won't, just trust anything. Also, daily reminder, I have no other Twitter profiles, no WhatsApp, no Telegram, no Stock Twits, no Discord, Facebook Messenger, LinkedIn, or Tinder. There's imposters literally everywhere. It's like Tim Sykes 077, Timothy Skies 43, and they're like, oh, it's my backup account. Oh, you're special. No, your mother lied to you. You're not special. You're just an average person. I'm just an average person. I'm sorry that our mothers all lied to us. We're all average, and you should not trust anybody who says, oh, invest in this crypto wallet. Oh, I'll manage your money. Don't give your money to anybody to manage. Learn to manage it yourself. Learn self-sufficiency. That's what I'm most proud of with all my top students, not just the money that they make. Speaking of, got to give props to some students. Sublime Trades on Twitter, Papa John in chat. He just crossed $200,000 in profits today, which is pretty freaking awesome. And then also these guys, Jack Kellogg made 40,000 today. Dom's dead. And then Kyle made 35,000. So 2 out of 3, pretty good. I don't know if Dom is dead. He's just, missing. So I make fun of him. Don't take it seriously. Some of you are like, is he really dead? Stop being so gullible. Like, don't trust others with your money. don't believe me when I say like this guy's dead. I wouldn't just say it like that. I would have more compassion. He likes to be private, so I just give him crap about that. But Jack Kellogg right here, 40,000 on the day, over 800,000 now in profits. I keep trying to get him to stay humble. I have to like find things to like make fun of him about, like with the chain over the shirt, like very Night at the Roxbury-esque. I make fun of his little bush that he's got growing on his chin. Here's Kyle, he's a vegetarian, so I'm like, yo, go celebrate with some carrots and some hummus. I say this lovingly because I want them to stay humble with the money that they're making in a day. It's insane. And just props to them. They nailed this short on LCDX. I wanted to short it. I'm literally just not set up for shorts right now. And, you needed a specialized broker to do it. Again, most of the time I'm not shorting. But this is the kind of play where you want to short. I did tweet about it though, interestingly. This was at what time? 10:18 a.m. And I said memorize these charts over the past few days. And I'm sorry, I have some typos. GPVRF, multi-day runner from the ones to the threes. So I was trying to dip by that. Made a few mistakes, but still profited, namely off the first morning panic. And then LCDX, I mean, this was when it was in the fours, and it only dipped later when they actually, had to put out a press release saying, like, I have too many tweets. Where was it? Did I link it? Why am I not? Oh, these are my media tweets. That's funny. I'm like, these aren't in order. I linked the press release that they put out, and they basically said, look, we're not, the electric vehicle maker that people think we are. So that was it. Once people started to realize it's not the right company, that's when it really started tanking. And these, right here, like literally, they had to put out this press release. We have no relation to Lucid Motors. And this is how like messed up penny stocks are. This is where the opportunity is. This is why I'm so amped up. This is why I have so many students who are doing the seemingly impossible, because there are inefficiencies in penny stocks, informational inefficiencies. Type that, leave that comment below this video if by the end of the video you understand that. I love informational inefficiencies. And I know it's not like a sexy way of saying it, but that's what it is. This does not happen. A stock does not go up for 3 or 4 days in any other part. No investment doubles, triples, quadruples on people mistakenly thinking that it's another company, except with these low-priced, low market cap companies that, Wall Street doesn't cover, CNBC doesn't cover. So it creates these inefficiencies. When you're betting against this company, it's not a question of if it's going to crash, it's when. And fortunately for the short sellers like Jack Kellogg and Kyle Williams today, it actually had a short squeeze this morning. Like, I can only imagine some unprepared shorts. There's a lot of unprepared shorts out there. They like to rip on my video lessons. They're like, you don't need to watch and study. You could just, use statistics. And they have like these exact formulas that always fuck up, or not always, but a lot of the time. And I know a lot of people were shorting this here in the threes. And, they weren't wrong the next day that it's going down to the ones, except that it also went up to the sixes first. So would you risk, losing, and you don't know if it's going to stop at 6. So would you risk losing, $3 a share, pretty much your entire investment being down 100% on your short in order to make, 60%? That's poor risk reward. What if it had gone to 10? So you got to be very careful. The good news is Jack and Kyle got up early. Jack was answering questions in the challenge chat room today. They're like, how did you know? And he's like, yo, I go to bed at, I think it was like 9 or 10 p.m. He's up early. He was finding shares to short, I think he said like 7:45 a.m. So he's getting the shares. Him and Kyle reserved the shares early on. And they didn't short it right away because they actually have studied. They actually do watch my video lessons, DVDs, and webinars. And they also watch these stocks and they learn from themselves. And they watch Tim Grittani. Tim Grittani, if he wasn't on vacation, probably would have made, 100 or 200 grand today. But he's on vacation in August, so he missed this. But Kyle and Jack, and I think even Michael Good and a few other students were shorting this here in the fives. And I think they all got their average at like 530, 540, 550. And the press release came out, I think it was like right in here when it was in the fours. But it had already cracked before the press release came out. Like people knew that this was the wrong company if you actually did your research. And then the press release just kind of confirmed it. This came out at 1:05 p.m. Eastern. So it was right here. The stock was at 450, and they were shorting it in here. And to make $35,000 each, people ask like, how much did they put in? They each shorted, I think, roughly 10,000 shares. So they put in roughly $50,000 to make 35,000 in a day. And they both covered, in the high ones. They both could have made like another 5 or 7 grand. So they didn't time it perfectly, and this probably goes under $1. Me, the schmuck, was trying to dip buy it all day. And I was just on the wrong side of it several times. Let me go into my trades. Congrats to those guys. They got up early, they reserved the shares to short, and they took it. Oh, people ask me, why was I not long BRTXQ overnight? First of all, I always say I am not really comfortable with stocks trading around a penny a share. It's so tough to try to squeeze in like a third of a penny or a quarter of a penny profit. Second of all, even though it was an OTC first green day, it's got a Q at the end. It's a bankrupt company and it's spiking on rumors that they're getting taken over. Did you ever think that what if overnight they say, no, the rumors are wrong? This thing could collapse 50% or more. And secondly, I was just exhausted yesterday because I made like 13 grand. I even made the video lesson at night and I was like, I'm so exhausted. I don't even care what this does. And that's a good thing to get into. Like, you shouldn't be looking for trades. You shouldn't be like, oh, I need to hold a stock overnight. You should be exhausted. Usually I'm exhausted because I'm adventuring around the world and having fun with my life. Right now, I'm just exhausted with too many stocks, too many students, and it's just the hottest market ever. So it did not gap up. Actually turned out to be a good idea to sell it into the late day strength on Monday, and you actually had a morning panic. The morning panic was worth the dip buy. I missed this dip buy here where it dropped or it bounced from 9/10 of a penny up to 1.5. I mean, this is a 50% bounce. So props to those of you who took advantage of the morning panic dip buy. I was dealing with pretty much from the open, as I said in chat, GPVRF. This is a better multi-day runner. I'm usually gonna, choose a multi-day runner to dip buy rather than a one-day runner, especially a $3 stock. There's more downside potential, more bounce potential than a stock trading at a penny a share. So all around, this was, my more favorite pattern. And we got the panic. We got the panic from 308 down to the 250s. And I actually, this was my best trade of the day. Nailing the morning panic because I laid it out in the previous video lesson. I laid it out in the watch list. I was ready for it. Even before I bought, I was like, come on, big panic, watch. And I would have been more aggressive if it had had a bigger panic. I didn't want it to stop, from 310 to 250-ish. I would have loved it to go from 310, to 210. If it had gone from 310 to 210, given its run up, it should have some support here at 2. So let's say it did a panic all the way down here. I might have bought, that would have been an ideal setup, multi-day runner with the right price range, with the right panic. I might have tried to buy 50,000 shares here. I can bet bigger now. I made nearly 700 grand now. So I have a bigger account, but I just use small accounts, all the time. Like I use small amounts of money, to trade. Like I didn't bet that big because I didn't get the big enough panic. So I wanted a bigger panic. The good news is it didn't close very well, so we might get a second day panic. I would love for it to, it closed at 244. I would love for it to go down to 2. And in an ideal world, it takes out all the stop losses at 2, and I, dip buy it tomorrow in the 180s. That would be fantastic, and I'd bet big there. But I want the biggest panic. The biggest panic often leads to the biggest bounce. And I got in here around 260 and out around here at 290, and it actually went all the way up to 320, 330. Even though Jack finished up 40,000 on the day, I think he lost like 5 grand on this short. He made some money on the panic and then he reshorted and then he got squeezed. So I think I want to say he made, I think from the morning, I remember him saying he made 9 grand on this short. And then he got squeezed and he lost like 6 or 7. So he was only up like 2 or 3 on that because of that kind of squeeze. But then LCDX, was his big winner there. And Kyle also, I think he made like 1,500, shorting this one. So this is the cool thing. Like I teach students to think on their own. My haters and doubters are like running around confused. They're like, but Tim wasn't short that stock. Why did you do it? Because I don't teach people to follow me. That's the difference between me and all these other fucking fakes, right? They always share their trades on social media. They always say to the moon. They always say if you sell, you're weak because they want people following them because it enhances their own trading. It's very important that you understand that I don't trade for my personal profits. I trade for charity. Obviously, I want to donate the most possible, but I trade in order to teach. And that allows me to give very accurate fucking commentary instead of the biased promoter bullshit that most people do because they're trying to inflate their own positions. This is the beauty of being real. And I can't, just stress this enough. So feel free to short a stock that I'm dip buying. Feel free to, buy a stock I'm shorting. I don't care if you go against me. We all have different strategies and different patterns. And I encourage you to find your own favorite. That's what makes me a better teacher than trader. And although I'm not a bad trader either, selling BRTXQ turned out to be a very good thing. Dip buying, I mean, this was my best trade of the day, and then it went downhill after that. I kept trying to dip buy, GP VRF. Had like I kind of like psyched myself out here. I was thinking like, oh, it's gonna retest the 320s when it kind of double bottomed here at 380. People were wondering like, why am I buying it right here? As it turned out, like right before it crashed, because I thought that this double bottom was in place and I was looking for one more squeeze. Didn't get it, but guess what? It's okay because I cut losses quickly and I lost a few cents a share. But then it did take out the day low, and I got in on one of these panics. Where was it? Was it here? I think it was this one. One of these panics I got in and sold into the bounce. It was choppy. There was no clear bounce. This panic I wasn't around for. I also gave a midday podcast that'll come out in a few days. And so I missed the ultimate bottom. So this is actually a nice double bottom here from 215 up to 266. So there actually was a better dip buy opportunity. I just missed it. Sometimes, you get a busy day. But the first trade was good. The second trade, at least I cut losses. Third trade, I had a profit. And then I started making my mistakes. 3 bad trades in a row. The only good thing that I did was control the losses. LCDX, I knew that it was bad. I knew that there was some, that it was up for the wrong reasons. But even if it was up for the wrong reasons, sometimes bad news stocks can still spike. I didn't know it was going to tank from, if you had told me it was going to tank from the 5s to the 1s, I wouldn't have tried to dip buy it at all. But I thought that, a few of these panics would finally flush out the weekends and create some good dip buy opportunities. And I was just wrong every single time. And the only thing I did well, I lost 200 here. I lost 200 here. MVIS also has like this rumor, former supernova, very similar to my CIDM trade from Monday, but it had this rumor in a transcript from some, government transcript that says like, the Army might want 40,000 of their AR type goggles for training. And, that would be like a potentially $1 billion contract. They'll probably screw it up somehow. But this is a former supernova, and it was spiking when that transcript was released. And like CIDM before, it hadn't spiked very much. So I figured, let's give it a shot. Maybe it'll spike some more. Didn't get it. So I had losses. But look at this. This is what's so crazy to me. So many people judge me and anybody who has losses. Like there's so much just bitterness and anger in trading, because I think because 90% of traders lose. So if you're losing, you want to lash out and you're like lashing out when you see somebody else lose, and maybe it makes you feel better. It's sick. It's a sick industry. But I just kind of laugh at it. Like, come and attack me. I always am entertained when someone says I'm a scam. I'm like, which rule do you disagree with? Do you disagree with me cutting losses quickly, or shorting the first red day, or buying the multi-day breakout? And I always, like, if you've ever messaged me and you're like, you're a scam, this is how I respond. And I'm like, please detail which rule you disagree with, because I love hearing this conspiracy shit, and I'm going to make some popcorn, and I just want you to be detailed. And they never are detailed. And it's always a disappointment. My haters and doubters are just disappointments to me, and to probably their own families too, because they're pretty much all inept at research. So I have small losses here, and I'm fine with it. Yes, I should not have been dip buying LCDX. Yes, I missed the perfect breakout on GAXY. Absolutely, astonishingly perfect. Congrats to everybody who took advantage of that, from the low threes to the fours. I mean, I totally bungled this one, and I took my eye off the ball, and maybe I did let it get a little personal, and I saw that my students were shorting it, so I was like watching this stock closer. And like I said, like, I don't care if they're shorting it and I'm going long. They're holding it, as it turned out, rightfully so, and I just thought I could get some quick bounces. I was wrong. So that was my mistake, missing GAXY. That was my biggest mistake, because that was just an absolutely perfect breakout. But I finished the day strong, at least. I'm very happy with my end of the day change on VSQTF when it took out the morning highs. I like very simple type breakouts and breakdowns. And when it took out the morning high here, I didn't care. It was already up 300% on the day. I said, hey, they have a new antibody test. They could keep going. And I bought it here in the mid 40s. And I gave it some time and some patience. And I sold it right in here in the high 50s. It actually closed at 65 cents. Maybe it goes higher again. But again, for me, this was just a way of closing the day strong. I knew that I had 3 losses in a row, and even like a 4th loss here, which, I mean, I usually only have 1 or 2 losses per day at most, sometimes 0 losses. So having 4 losses, I was a little off my game. But I also, again, trade in order to teach. So even though I had 4 losses, add up the losses with me: 250 and 360 and 200. Okay, I'm not that great at math, but this is like $700, and then this is like 255. So we're roughly $1,000. And look at my profit, a little over. My final trade of the day wiped away all of the losses. And I was thinking of that. So when people ask me, why did I sell VSQTF when it was closing so high? For me, it was kind of wiping away the losses, finishing the day on a strong note. I mean, I don't even know, even if I had no losses, I don't know if I would be comfortable holding a stock up 500% overnight. In this crazy market, maybe it keeps going. But at best, I probably would have sold it, here, at 60, 61, 62. Like, I have my limits of just how much patience I can have. But overall now on 2 days, 19,000, and you just take it trade by trade. So, props to so many students. I'm sorry, I'm not even going to go through all the students, who are tweeting me. I know that there's hundreds of you lately, which is awesome. And I'm not trying to diminish you, but I'm just tired after a long day. And like I said, I'm donating, 100% of this to the wildfire victims and the firefighters. And I'll post a link to that fundraiser just below this. I appreciate that. If you donate, or even if you share. It's not even just about donating. Like, if you just share it with your followers and help us get the word out. And I'm also going to post this link. It's good for me to review these trades after the fact. It's good for me to comment, and alert in real time. But it's a whole nother level to your education if you're there all day. And I don't know what September 4th is going to be like. But again, once you join the mastery, you are in for 12 of these all-day sessions. And you can watch them anytime. You can watch them over the weekend. They're archived. They're great to study. I want you understanding my mindset and my process. That's what this is all about. Not following my alerts, not following alerts from anybody. Being self-sufficient. That is what all my top students are. So props to Jack and Kyle. on their 40 grand and 35 grand days today. Props to John Papa passing 200,000. I'm going to get some sleep. Everyone, click the links below. I'll see you bright and early in chat tomorrow.